You do not speak slowly because your English is weak. You speak slowly because your brain is doing two jobs at the same time. You understand the question. You know what you want to say. But before you answer, your brain translates the idea, checks the grammar, searches for the perfect word, and asks, "Does this sound natural?" By then, the conversation has already moved on. Maybe someone asks you, "What do you think about working from home?" You have an opinion because you have thought about this many times. Still, you freeze. You begin building a perfect sentence in your first language, and then you try to carry that sentence into English. Does that moment feel familiar? You know the English, but it arrives late. This is especially frustrating for advanced learners. You can understand podcasts, follow meetings, and read complex articles, yet a simple question can suddenly make you feel like a beginner. If that is happening to you, please do not judge yourself. You do not need more grammar theory right now. You need faster English reactions. Imagine the same question again. What do you think about working from home? This time, you do not search for a complete answer immediately. You begin with, "That's a good question." Then you add, "Let me think for a second." And now your real answer can grow naturally. To be honest, I enjoy the flexibility, but I sometimes miss talking to people in person. Did you notice what changed? Those first small phrases gave your brain time, but the conversation stayed alive. You did not become silent. You stayed connected to the other person while your next idea was forming. That is what we are going to practice together on Talk Grow English. You will think, answer, repeat, and shadow without sending every idea through your first language. We will work with short reactions first. Then we will turn those reactions into longer, more natural answers. You will hear connected speech, respond to real-life questions, complete quick response drills, and join me in mini role plays. This will not feel like a dry lecture. I want you to speak with me, even if your answer feels imperfect. In fact, imperfect English that arrives now is often more useful than perfect English that arrives 10 seconds too late. If you find this useful, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment. Now let us make one simple agreement. During this practice, do not wait until every word is ready. Start with a small English reaction. Let that reaction become a bridge to the rest of your answer. Listen to this question. Would you rather live in a big city or a small town? Do not create a full answer yet. Just react with me. That's a good question. Say it again. Smoothly. That's a good question. Good. Your answer has already started. And you did not need to translate a complete sentence first. Now add one more bridge. Let me think for a second. Repeat after me. Let me think for a second. One more time, with a relaxed rhythm. Let me think for a second. In natural speech, let me may sound more like lem. You do not have to force it, but listen for that smooth connection. Lem think for a second. Try it with me. Lem think for a second. Nice. You are not freezing now. You are holding your place in the conversation while your next idea appears. Let us return to the question. Would you rather live in a big city or a small town? Start with your bridge, then add a short answer. Let me think for a second. I'd say a small town. Repeat the whole response. Let me think for a second. I'd say a small town. Did you notice what happened? You answered in 2 small steps instead of trying to build one perfect sentence. That is how fluent speech often works. A reaction comes first, and the explanation follows. Now let us try another useful phrase. I'm not really sure, but. Repeat after me. I'm not really sure, but. Keep the words connected. I'm not really sure, but. Good. This phrase gives you room when your opinion is not completely clear. Imagine someone asks, "Do you think social media helps people connect?" You could say, "I'm not really sure, but I think it depends on how you use it." Repeat that answer with me. I'm not really sure, but I think it depends on how you use it. Now make it personal. Do you think social media helps people connect? Begin with I'm not really sure, but. And finish the thought in your own words. If only a few words came out, that still counts. You reacted in English, and that is the habit we are building. Here is your first quick response challenge. I will ask a question, and you begin with one of our phrases. Is it better to work alone or with a team? Say your reaction now. You might have said, "That's a good question," or "I'd say it depends." Both responses keep the conversation alive. Neither one requires a perfect answer. Let us shadow a complete response. Listen first. That's a good question. I'd say it depends on the task. Now speak with me. That's a good question. I'd say it depends on the task. Again, a little more smoothly. That's a good question. I'd say it depends on the task. Add one reason. If I need new ideas, I prefer working with a team. Shadow the full answer. That's a good question. I'd say it depends on the task. If I need new ideas, I prefer working with a team. That was a natural answer, but it began with a very small reaction. So please stop treating hesitation as failure. A phrase like, "Let me think for a second," is not empty language. It is a useful bridge. Your challenge from this moment is simple. Do not wait for perfect English. React first, then build. You now have a few phrases to keep the conversation moving so we can make the deeper shift, learning to form the thought in English before you speak. and that shift is much smaller than it sounds. Thinking in English does not mean discussing philosophy with yourself from morning to night. It begins with ordinary moments and very short thoughts. You make coffee and think, I need more milk. You check your messages and think, I should reply later. You look at your schedule and think, this is going to be a busy day. These simple thoughts matter because they teach your mind to connect real life directly with English. There is no translation in the middle. You see the empty milk carton, and the English thought appears. Let's try this together. Imagine you are making coffee, but the machine is unusually slow. What could you think? Keep it simple. This is taking longer than I expected. Repeat after me. This is taking longer than I expected. Now say it more naturally, as one connected thought. This is taking longer than I expected. Good. You are not describing everything in the kitchen. You are choosing one useful thought. Now, imagine that you have been working for 2 hours and your attention is disappearing. Your thought might be, I need a break. Say it with me, I need a break. Or make it slightly more expressive. To be honest, I need a break. Again, to be honest, I need a break. Notice how the longer thought grows from the shorter one. First, I need a break. Then you add a natural reaction phrase. You can use the same habit while choosing lunch. Ask yourself softly, what do I want? Your first answer could be, I want something light. Then expand it. I'm trying to decide, but I think I want something light. Repeat after me. I'm trying to decide. Again, with a relaxed rhythm. I'm trying to decide. Now add the next thought. I'm not sure yet. Say the two thoughts together. I'm trying to decide. I'm not sure yet. That is already natural English. It does not need to be clever or complicated. Perhaps you are walking to work, and the street is more crowded than usual. Ask yourself, what do I think about this? Start short. It's really busy today. Then develop it. Actually, I think it's busier than usual. Repeat that. Actually, I think it's busier than usual. One more time. A little faster. Actually, I think it's busier than usual. Here is a simple routine you can use anywhere. Ask, what am I doing? You might answer, I'm checking my messages. Ask, what do I think about this? You might answer, most of these can wait. Then ask, what do I want to say next? You might think, the thing is, I need to finish my work first. Repeat after me. The thing is, I need to finish my work first. Can you feel the progression? You name the action. Notice your opinion and prepare the next idea. Let's make this personal. Look at what you are doing right now. Ask yourself, what am I doing? Answer immediately with one sentence. I'm listening to an English lesson. Now add one honest detail. I'm listening to an English lesson, and I'm trying to respond more quickly. That longer answer did not appear all at once. It grew from one small English thought. And that is how fluent thinking develops. One small thought, followed by one useful detail. It starts much smaller than most learners expect. Let's build that habit with 4 phrases you can use throughout your day. Repeat after me. I'm trying to decide. Again, smoothly, I'm trying to decide. Imagine you are choosing lunch. Think, I'm trying to decide what I feel like having. Now repeat the full sentence. Good. Next, I'm not sure yet. Say it once more. Naturally, I'm not sure yet. If a friend asks whether you are free tonight, you might answer, I'm not sure yet. I need to check. Do you hear how simple that is? You do not need a perfect answer immediately. You only need a place to begin. Now repeat. The thing is, I have a lot to finish. Connect the words smoothly. The thing is, I have a lot to finish. And one more. Actually, I think I'll do it later. Repeat it. Actually, I think I'll do it later. These phrases help your mind enter English quickly. Once the first thought appears, the rest can follow. Ready for a quick response drill? Answer each question immediately with one clear sentence. What are you doing after this lesson? Answer now. You could say, I'm going to make some coffee, or I'm going back to work. Next question. What do you need to finish today? Perhaps your answer is, I need to reply to a few messages. Now add your real attitude. The thing is, I've been putting those replies off all morning. Notice the change? The first sentence gives the fact. The second makes the answer sound personal and natural. How do you feel right now? Answer before you overthink it. Start simply, I feel pretty good. Then expand, to be honest, I'm a little tired, but I feel focused. That is a strong answer. It is honest, clear, and still easy to produce. One more question. What have you been thinking about today? Begin with, I've been thinking about, and finish the sentence yourself. If you need support, say, I've been thinking about what I need to do this week. Now add another thought. Actually, I think I need to organize my time better. Let's shadow both sentences at a calm pace. I've been thinking about what I need to do this week. Actually, I think I need to organize my time better. Now say them together without stopping. Excellent. You are not memorizing a speech. You are training one English thought to lead naturally into the next. Try this in ordinary moments today. While walking, ask yourself, where am I going? While waiting, think, how long will this take? When you check your phone, ask, do I need to answer now? Keep your answers short. I'm heading to work. This is taking longer than I expected. I should reply later. Small thoughts like these teach your mind to reach for English before translation takes over. As they become easier, they will turn into spoken answers faster, and that is where real fluency begins. And when those small thoughts become spoken answers, you do not need to produce a perfect paragraph immediately. Fluent speakers often begin with something short. They give their brain a safe place to start, and then they build from there. Imagine someone asks, "Do you enjoy working from home?" You might feel pressure to explain everything at once. Instead, begin with a simple response, "It depends," or "I'd say yes." You could also say, "Not always." These are not weak answers. They open the door while your brain chooses what to say next. Let's try a simple pattern with 3 layers. First, use a reaction phrase. Second, give a short opinion. Third, add one clear reason. Listen to this. That's a good question. I'd say working from home is helpful. The thing is, it gives people more control over their time. Did you notice how the answer grew? I did not create one long sentence. I added one small piece at a time. Repeat after me. That's a good question. I'd say working from home is helpful. The thing is, it gives people more control over their time. Now connect all 3 thoughts. That's a good question. I'd say working from home is helpful. The thing is, it gives people more control over their time. Good. If you need a moment between those thoughts, take it. A natural pause is much better than freezing because you are searching for a perfect answer. Let's use the same pattern with a weekend plan. I ask, "Would you like to go out this weekend?" You begin with a reaction, "Let me think for a second." Then give your answer, "I'd say yes." Now add a reason. "I've been at home most of the week, so it would be nice to do something different." Put it together. "Let me think for a second. I'd say yes. I've been at home most of the week, so it would be nice to do something different." That already sounds natural, but we can extend it with one personal detail. Maybe we could try that new restaurant near the station. Listen to the complete answer. "Let me think for a second. I'd say yes. I've been at home most of the week, so it would be nice to do something different. Maybe we could try that new restaurant near the station." One question has now produced a full answer, but every step remained simple. Try another one with me. Do you usually reply to messages right away? Start small, not always. Add a reason. "Sometimes I'm busy, and I want to answer properly." Add a daily life example. Yesterday, a friend sent me a long message during a meeting, so I replied after work. Now shadow the whole answer. "Not always. Sometimes I'm busy, and I want to answer properly." Yesterday, a friend sent me a long message during a meeting, so I replied after work. Excellent. You are not making the language more complicated. You are simply giving the listener one useful detail after another. Let's practice that growth with one flexible phrase. Repeat. It depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. But to be honest, I prefer a flexible schedule. Feel the progression, a safe beginning, a little context, and then your real opinion. Now let's use the same pattern in everyday situations. Your brain will learn to build an answer in English instead of translating a complete response. A friend asks, "Do you want to eat out tonight?" Start safely. "I'm not really sure, but staying home sounds better." Can you add a reason? Try, "To be honest, I'm tired after a long day." That small detail turns a short reply into a natural answer. Notice that you did not need difficult vocabulary. You simply started, shared one idea, and explained it. Here's another question. Is that restaurant worth trying? Begin with a reaction. Actually, yes. Then continue. I'd say the food is very good. I went there with a friend last weekend, and we both loved it. Did you hear how the answer grew? You found each sentence after you had already begun speaking. That is exactly the habit we want. Repeat after me. Actually, yes. Actually, yes. I'd say it's worth trying. Actually, yes. I'd say it's worth trying. The service is friendly, and the food feels fresh. Good. Keep your voice relaxed, and let one sentence lead naturally to the next. Now someone says, online meetings save a lot of time. Perhaps you partly disagree. Start with, "I see what you mean." Then add, "I see what you mean, but not always." The thing is, some problems are easier to solve face to face. That sounds thoughtful, doesn't it? It has 3 simple layers: a reaction, an opinion, and a reason. Let's try a quick response drill. Speak before you feel completely ready. Is it better to plan your weekend in advance? You could answer, "That's a good question. I'd say planning helps because I can use my time better." Now you try this one. Should people reply to work messages in the evening? Reaction, opinion, reason. One possible answer is, "It depends." I'd say no in most cases. People need time to relax after work. Next question. Is cooking at home better than eating out? Start now, even if your first thought feels basic. You might say, "To be honest, I prefer cooking at home. It costs less, and I can make exactly what I want. Last night, I made vegetables and rice instead of ordering food." One final question. Do you enjoy meeting new people? Build your answer aloud. For example, "Let me think for a second." I'd say yes, although I can be quiet at first. Once the conversation starts, I usually feel more comfortable. Was your answer different? That is completely fine. You are not copying my opinion. You are training your English to keep moving. So remember the pattern. Start safely. State one clear idea, then support it with a reason or personal detail. But what can you say while your brain is still choosing that first idea? Emma, you may wonder, how do I avoid an awkward silence? Natural reaction phrases give you those valuable extra seconds, and that is what we'll practice next. Those extra seconds matter because silence can feel much longer when you are under pressure. A reaction phrase keeps the conversation alive. It shows the other person that you heard them while giving your mind time to prepare the next idea. So these phrases are not empty fillers. They are useful conversation tools, and each one carries a slightly different feeling. Imagine a friend says, "I'm tired of social media. I think I need a break." You could respond, "I see what you mean. It can become exhausting after a while." "I see what you mean," tells your friend. "I understand your point." You do not have to agree completely. You are simply showing that their opinion is reasonable. Say it with me. "I see what you mean." Again, a little more smoothly. "I see what you mean." Now add your idea. "I see what you mean. I sometimes feel the same way." Your friend continues, "I waste so much time scrolling, especially before bed." You answer, "That makes sense. It's easy to lose track of time." "That makes sense" is warm and supportive. It tells the speaker that you understand the reason behind what they said. Repeat after me. "That makes sense." Now imagine that you have a slightly different experience. You can say, "Actually, I use social media less than I used to." Actually introduces new information, a correction, or a gentle contrast. Keep your tone friendly. You are adding another angle, not starting an argument. Listen to the difference. "No, you're wrong. That feels hard. Actually, I've had a different experience. That feels open and calm. Try it. Actually, I've had a different experience." Good. Now make it personal. "Actually, I deleted one of my apps last month." Perhaps your honest feeling is more complicated. Then you might say, "To be honest, I enjoy social media, but I know I use it too much." To be honest prepares the listener for a sincere opinion. It often makes your answer feel more personal. Repeat, "To be honest, I enjoy it." One more time, without separating every word. "To be honest, I enjoy it." Then keep the conversation balanced with a simple question. "What about you?" Do not push every word out separately as "what." About. You? Let it flow. "What about you?" Again, "What about you?" Let's put everything together. I'll play both sides, and you listen for the reaction phrases. "I'm thinking about taking a break from social media." "I see what you mean. It can be overwhelming." Exactly. "I keep checking my phone without thinking." That makes sense. Actually, I turned off my notifications recently. Did that help? To be honest, yes. I feel less distracted now. What about you? Have you tried anything like that? Notice how each reaction creates a bridge. The answer does not arrive suddenly or sound robotic. It grows naturally from what the other person said. Now you try. Your friend says, "I've started leaving my phone in another room while I work." Begin with "that makes sense," and then add one thought of your own. You might say, "That makes sense. I concentrate better when my phone is out of sight." Here is your challenge for the next few minutes. Every answer must begin with a reaction phrase before you give your main idea. Here is the rule. Connect first, explain second. Imagine a colleague says, "Working from home is convenient, but I sometimes feel lonely." How would you react? Show understanding before sharing your view. "I see what you mean. I miss those little office conversations too." Your reaction tells the other person, "I'm listening." Can you disagree without sounding cold? Absolutely. Say, "That makes sense. Actually, I enjoy the quiet at home." Here, actually introduces a contrast gently, not an argument. Now a friend says, "I want to exercise before work, but I can never get up early." Respond with, "To be honest," and add your experience. "To be honest, I have the same problem. I usually exercise in the evening." Then keep the exchange alive. "What about you? Have you tried exercising after work?" Notice what happened. You gained thinking time, showed warmth, and invited the other person to continue. You were not simply waiting for your turn to speak. Let's make the rhythm feel natural. Repeat after me. "That's a good question." Connect the words and sound genuinely curious. "That's a good question." Now repeat. "Let me think for a second." Keep "let me" light and relaxed. Again, "Let me think for a second." Add this softly. "What about you?" Good. Now shadow the full response. "That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'd say evenings are better for me. What about you?" Say it once more in one smooth flow. You are not rushing. Emma's not rushing you. And you are not freezing. That balance is the goal. Ready for a quick response drill? I'll give you a statement. You react first, then explain. "The city is much busier than it used to be." Try, "I see what you mean. Traffic feels worse lately. I've decided to spend less money on things I don't need." Answer, "That makes sense. I'm trying to be more careful too. I prefer calling people instead of sending long messages." Give a gentle contrast. "Actually, I prefer messages because I can reply when I have time." Now respond without my example. It's getting harder to separate work from personal life. Begin with "to be honest," and continue from your own experience. Nicely done. Now add, "What about you?" That tiny question turns a private answer into a real conversation. Let's finish with a mini role play. We're having coffee after a long week, and I say, I'm exhausted. I've been busy every day, but I haven't finished anything. Respond with empathy before advice. I see what you mean. That can be really frustrating. I reply, yes, and I keep saying yes to too many things. You say, that makes sense. To be honest, I do that too. Maybe we both need to protect our time more. Then I ask, are you good at saying no? Start with a thinking phrase and answer honestly. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'd say I'm getting better, but I still feel guilty sometimes. That answer feels thoughtful and personal, while giving your brain time to build ideas directly in English. As we move into real-life conversation, remember the pattern, hear the feeling, react naturally, and then develop your answer. Now, let's bring that same pattern into a place where quick, natural answers matter every day: work. Imagine you've just arrived at the office or joined an online meeting. A coworker looks at you and asks, "How's your week going?" You understand the question, but your mind gets busy. Should you say you're stressed? Should you explain every task? Should you just say, fine? You don't need a perfect report. You only need a natural answer that gives the other person something to respond to. Listen to this short workplace conversation. How's your week going? To be honest, it's been a bit intense. Oh, really? What's been happening? The thing is, I've had too many small tasks at once. Nothing is especially difficult, but together, they take up a lot of time. I see what you mean. Are you managing okay? I think so. I'm trying to stay on top of things, but I'll probably take it easy tonight. That sounds honest, but not dramatic. The speaker shares enough information without turning a casual question into a 10-minute explanation. Let's look at the opening response. To be honest, it's been a bit intense. To be honest gently signals that a real answer is coming. A bit intense is softer than terrible or completely overwhelming. Now repeat after me. To be honest, it's been a bit intense. Again, with a calm, conversational rhythm. To be honest, it's been a bit intense. The next phrase explains the problem. The thing is, I've had too many small tasks at once. The thing is gives you a moment to think, while also preparing the listener for an explanation. Repeat, the thing is, I've had too many small tasks at once. Good. Don't rush each word. Let the thought move as one clear unit. Now answer these questions out loud. What was the speaker's main feeling? You might say, the speaker felt under pressure, or the week had been intense. Which phrase helped introduce the explanation? The thing is. Say it once now. The thing is. And what made the answer sound natural? It was honest but controlled. The speaker gave one clear reason, then ended with a simple plan for the evening. Listen closely to 3 lines for connected speech. It's been a bit intense. I'm trying to stay on top of things. I'll probably take it easy tonight. You may notice that the words don't stand alone. It's been flows together, and bit intense connects smoothly. Shadow me now. Speak at nearly the same time as I do. It's been a bit intense. Once more, it's been a bit intense. I'm trying to stay on top of things. Again, keep the middle light and smooth. I'm trying to stay on top of things. I'll probably take it easy tonight. One more time, as if you were speaking to a friendly coworker. I'll probably take it easy tonight. Now let's make the conversation slightly more personal, because workplace small talk often moves from your workload to how you protect your time. Imagine your coworker asks, "Are you doing anything after work?" You do not need to explain your whole schedule. A short, natural answer is enough. You could say, "To be honest, I'm keeping tonight free. I really need some time to recharge." That answer is honest, but it does not sound cold. To recharge simply means to rest and get your energy back. Repeat after me. I really need some time to recharge. Again, with calm confidence. I really need some time to recharge. Now imagine your coworker says, "We might grab a drink later. Do you want to come?" If you are undecided, say, "I'm not really sure, but I'll let you know." If you want to say no politely, try, "Thanks for asking, but I'll probably take it easy tonight." Notice that you are not giving a long excuse. You are being warm, clear, and respectful of your own time. Here is another useful exchange. Do you ever answer work messages in the evening? It depends. If it's urgent, I might reply, "The thing is, I try not to make it a habit." That makes sense. It's hard to switch off when your phone keeps buzzing. Exactly. I'm trying to set better boundaries. What does switch off mean here? Say your answer out loud. It means to stop thinking about work and allow your mind to rest. And what are boundaries in this context? They are limits that protect your time and energy. For example, you might stop checking email after dinner. Shadow this line with me. I try not to make it a habit. Once more, smoothly, I try not to make it a habit. Now say, I'm trying to set better boundaries. Again, with the stress on better boundaries. I'm trying to set better boundaries. Good. Let's move into a mini role play. I'll be your coworker, and you will dance as yourself. Try to use at least 2 reaction phrases, such as "to be honest," "it depends," "the thing is," or "let me think for a second." Hey, how's your week going? Answer out loud now. Keep it to 2 or 3 sentences. Nice. Here is my follow-up question. What has been taking up most of your time? Respond naturally. You can begin with, "The thing is." Good. Now I ask, are you usually able to switch off after work? Start with, "It depends." Then add one clear reason. One last question. What are you going to do tonight? Take a second and answer as yourself. If you need a model, say, "To be honest, I'll probably have a quiet evening. I've had a lot on my mind, so I need to recharge." That sounded like a real conversation, not a test. You listened, reacted, and built each answer directly in English. You also protected your personal boundaries without sounding unfriendly, which is an important part of natural adult communication. Keep that same relaxed rhythm as we move from workplace small talk to personal opinions. This next situation can feel harder because many learners freeze when they want their opinion to sound intelligent. And that pressure is especially strong at C1 or C2 because you may feel that every opinion should sound impressive. You search for sophisticated words, build a perfect argument, and suddenly the conversation has moved on without you. Here is the good news. A strong opinion does not need to sound complicated. It needs to be clear, honest, and easy to follow. So instead of translating a polished paragraph in your head, begin with a simple frame. Listen to these 4 openings. I'd say, "Actually, I think." "It depends." "I'm not really sure, but." Each opening gives you time to think while keeping your answer alive. Repeat after me, I'd say. "Actually, I think." "It depends." "I'm not really sure, but." Good. Now let us use them with real topics. Imagine someone asks, "Is remote work better than working in an office?" You do not need a speech. You can say, "I'd say remote work is better for tasks that require deep focus." That is already a complete opinion. It gives your position and one clear reason. If you want to make it longer, add contrast. On one hand, remote work gives people more freedom, but at the same time, it can feel isolating. Notice how natural that sounds. The ideas are balanced, but the language is still simple. Shadow that sentence with me. On one hand, remote work gives people more freedom, but at the same time, it can feel isolating. Try it once more and keep the rhythm smooth. On one hand, remote work gives people more freedom, but at the same time, it can feel isolating. Now consider learning with AI. What is your honest opinion? Start before you find the perfect words. "Actually, I think AI can make learning more personal." Then add a limit. "The thing is, learners still need to think for themselves." Put those ideas together. Actually, I think AI can make learning more personal. The thing is, learners still need to think for themselves. Clear thinking often sounds stronger than formal language. Let us try a question with more nuance. Is living in a big city worth it? Maybe you have mixed feelings. That is exactly when "it depends" becomes useful. It depends. Big cities offer more opportunities, but daily life can be stressful and expensive. You are not avoiding the question. You are showing that the answer changes with the situation. What if you genuinely do not know? Say, "I'm not really sure, but I think it depends on your priorities." That sounds thoughtful, not weak. Now answer this for yourself. Should people take regular breaks from social media? Begin with one of our 4 openings, then give one reason. You might say, "I'd say yes," because constant updates can make it difficult to switch off. Or perhaps your view is different. "Actually, I think social media is fine if you use it intentionally." Both answers work because they are direct and easy to understand. Let us make this more spontaneous now. I will ask a question, and your job is to begin within 2 seconds, even if your first sentence is not perfect. Ready? Don't build the whole answer in your head. Start speaking and let the next idea arrive while you talk. Is it better to plan everything? Begin within 2 seconds. You could say, "I'd say no," because unexpected things are part of life. Good. Now extend it. I'd say planning is useful, but trying to plan everything can create more stress. Did you hear that contrast? 2 ideas can be true at once. That makes your opinion sound thoughtful without making it complicated. Let's try another question. Do people work too much these days? Answer now. Actually, I think many people do, because they find it hard to disconnect. Or give a more balanced answer. It depends. Some people work long hours because they have to, while others feel pressure to stay busy. Clear, natural, and nuanced. You didn't need impressive words. Here's your next question. Is learning with AI better than learning with a teacher? Start with one opening and one reason. I'm not really sure, but I think both can be useful in different ways. Now add contrast. On one hand, AI lets you practice whenever you want, but a good teacher understands your personal struggles. Repeat after me. On one hand, AI lets you practice whenever you want, but at the same time, a good teacher understands your personal struggles. Keep your rhythm relaxed. You're sharing a view, not defending a thesis. One more question. Would you prefer to work remotely or in an office? Start now. To be honest, I'd prefer to work remotely because I can focus better at home. What about you? Give me a short answer, then add one detail from your life. Perhaps you said, I choose the office because I enjoy being around other people. That makes sense. Good English doesn't mean agreeing with me. And if you make a grammar mistake, don't go back and rebuild everything. Keep speaking, add your reason, and complete the thought. Fluency grows when you recover while talking, not when you stop after every imperfect sentence. Imagine you say, "People works too much." You notice the mistake, but you don't freeze. Continue. They often answer messages after work, so they never fully relax. The first sentence was imperfect, but your meaning stayed alive. You can also repair it naturally. What I mean is, people often find it difficult to switch off. Repeat after me. What I mean is, the thing is, I see what you mean, but. These phrases give your mind time and help you adjust your message without panic. Final quick challenge. Are breaks from social media necessary? Begin within 2 seconds. Add a reason and keep going even if you make a mistake. Good. You're training movement, not perfection. An opinion only needs a clear opening, one honest idea, and a reason your listener can follow. But faster responses depend on more than choosing words. You must also recognize how they sound when native speakers connect them. So let's move from forming ideas in English to hearing and producing natural, connected speech. Connected speech can feel like a new language, even when every word is already familiar to you. You read, "What about you?" and understand it immediately. But in natural conversation, you may hear something closer to, "What about you?" The words have not disappeared. They have simply joined together and found a smoother rhythm. Listen slowly. What about you? Now naturally, what about you? Repeat after me. What about you? Now make it one smooth chunk. What about you? Good. Don't force the sounds or copy the spelling. Just let the phrase move forward without stopping between every word. Here is another one. Let me think for a second. In relaxed speech, let me often sounds like lem. So you may hear, "Lem think for a second." Listen slowly. Let me think for a second. Now naturally, lem think for a second. Your turn. Lem think for a second. Say it once more, as if someone has just asked you a difficult question. Lem think for a second. That sounds more alive, doesn't it? Rhythm carries the meaning, while the phrase gives your mind a little extra time. Now listen to this. I see what you mean. In quick, friendly speech, what you may sound like watcha. You might hear, "I see whatcha mean." Slowly, "I see what you mean." Naturally, "I see whatcha mean." Repeat, "I see whatcha mean." Keep it gentle. Connected speech is not about swallowing every sound. It is about moving through familiar words as one meaningful unit. One more, that makes sense. The final sound in that flows straight into makes. So the phrase feels compact. That makes sense. Repeat slowly. That makes sense. Now with a natural rhythm. That makes sense. Imagine your friend has explained why they canceled a trip. Respond warmly. That makes sense. Excellent. You are not learning 4 separate collections of words. You are learning 4 reactions your ears and mouth can recognize as complete chunks. Let's test that in a real situation. A friend is inviting you to dinner, but the plan changes. Listen for the main message, not every sound. Hey, are you free for dinner tomorrow? We were going to meet at 7, but something came up. Could we make it 8 instead? What changed? The restaurant, the day, or the time? The time changed. Dinner was going to be at 7, but your friend is asking to meet at 8. Did you notice we were gonna? That is a common, relaxed way to say we were going to. Listen again. We were gonna meet at 7, but something came up. Could we make it 8 instead? What does something came up mean here? It means an unexpected situation appeared and affected the original plan. You do not need to translate that phrase word by word. Hear it as one idea. An unexpected problem or event happened. Now respond naturally. You agree to the new time, then ask where you should meet. You could say, 8 works for me. Where should we meet? Repeat after me. 8 works for me. Where should we meet? Now say it smoothly, as one helpful response. 8 works for me. Where should we meet? Good. You heard the change, understood the reason, and responded without rebuilding every sentence in your head. Now your friend adds, Great. I'll send you the address. What about you? Is there anywhere you'd rather go? Did what about you sound like what about you? Nothing disappeared. The words simply connected into one smooth chunk. Say it slowly. What about you? Now keep the rhythm and connect it. What about you? One more time. Naturally. What about you? Perhaps you need time to choose a restaurant. You can say, let me think for a second. In casual speech, let me often sounds like lem. Listen, lemma think for a second. Repeat it clearly. Let me think for a second. Now relax your mouth and let it flow. Lem think for a second. Your friend suggests a quiet place because the last restaurant was too noisy. You reply, I see what you mean. Spoken smoothly, that may sound like, I see what you mean. Can you hear the connection? Repeat after me, I see what you mean. Again, more naturally, I see what you mean. This is not a new sentence. You are training your ears to recognize English you already know. Then your friend explains that the quieter restaurant is closer to the station. Your natural reaction is, that makes sense. Say it clearly, that makes sense. Now say it as one complete thought, that makes sense. Notice how the stress lands on makes sense. The rhythm helps carry the meaning. Let's put the exchange together. I'll be your friend. What about you? Is there anywhere you'd rather go? You answer. Lem think for a second. Maybe somewhere quieter. I suggest. There's a small place near the station. You respond. I see what you mean. That makes sense. Quick check. Why do you want another place? Because you would prefer somewhere quieter. And why is the place near the station a good choice? Because it is quiet and easy to reach. You followed the meaning without separating every sound. That is real listening progress. Now let's turn that progress into speaking muscle memory with a short shadowing challenge. Listen, then follow immediately. Lem think for a second. Stay close to my rhythm. What about you? Would 8 work? Now connect the whole reaction. I see what you mean. That makes sense. Good. This time, add genuine emotion. Say, let me think for a second, as if you truly need time to decide. Ask, what about you? With warm curiosity, because you want the other person's opinion. Then say, I see what you mean. That makes sense, with calm understanding after hearing their explanation. Excellent. Shadowing is not mindless copying. It teaches your ears and mouth to work together, so meaning can arrive before translation slows you down. And that is exactly why shadowing can help you speak faster, not just sound better. Shadowing means listening and speaking almost at the same time. You follow my voice closely and copy the rhythm, stress, and feeling. You do not need to copy every sound perfectly. The real goal is to give your mind faster access to complete English chunks. Instead of building to be honest word by word, your mouth learns to produce it as one natural reaction. Let's make this practical with a short story. First, just listen for meaning. Do not repeat yet. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. I only had a few things to do, so I made a simple plan for the day. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. The bus was late, the store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. For a while, I felt stressed and completely behind schedule. Actually, it turned out fine, and I finished the important things before dinner. What happened in that story? A normal day became stressful, but everything worked out in the end. Notice that you understood the situation as a whole. You did not need to translate every sentence to follow it. Now we will slow it down. Repeat each line after me, and focus on the meaning you are expressing. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. Your turn. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. Let the first phrase flow together. To be honest. Again, with the feeling of admitting what you really believed. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. Good. Now repeat. I only had a few things to do. Keep it light and connected. I only had a few things to do. Next line, the thing is, everything took longer than expected. That sentence explains the real problem. Give the thing is a little stress. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. If your mouth feels slow, stay relaxed. Smooth speech grows from calm repetition, not from forcing every word. Repeat. The bus was late. The store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. One more time, but keep the events moving. The bus was late. The store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. Now the final turn in the story. Actually, it turned out fine. Say it with relief. Actually, it turned out fine. Great. We are ready to move from repeating after me to true shadowing. I will divide the story into short chunks. Start speaking just after I start, and stay close to my rhythm. If you miss one word, do not stop and do not go back. Rejoin me with the next phrase, because real conversations keep moving. Here we go. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. Again, closer this time. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. I only had a few things to do, so I made a simple plan for the day. Keep following. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. The bus was late. The store was crowded. And then my phone battery died. Nice work. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Breathe naturally, and let the English come out in groups rather than separate words. Now stay with me for the last line and let your voice show relief. Actually, it turned out fine. Good. Let's connect the whole passage without stopping. Listen once more for the meaning before you speak. Picture the plan, the delays, the frustration, and the relief at the end. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. I only had a few things to do, so I made a simple plan for the day. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. The bus was late, the store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. Actually, it turned out fine. Now shadow the full passage with me. Begin just after my voice begins, and keep going even if one word gets lost. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. I only had a few things to do, so I made a simple plan for the day. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. The bus was late, the store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. Actually, it turned out fine. How did that feel? Perhaps your voice fell behind for a moment. That is completely normal. Shadowing is not a test of perfect memory. It trains your mind to reach for complete English chunks without translating each word. Let's do it once more, but this time, focus on the feeling instead of the individual sounds. Start calmly, become slightly frustrated in the middle, and finish with relief. To be honest, I thought it would be easy. I only had a few things to do, so I made a simple plan for the day. The thing is, everything took longer than expected. The bus was late, the store was crowded, and then my phone battery died. Actually, it turned out fine. Nice work. Now ask yourself, which phrase felt easiest to say? Which one felt unnatural? Maybe, to be honest, felt smooth because you have heard it many times. Maybe, everything took longer than expected felt heavy or difficult. Choose the harder phrase now. Say it 3 more times, gently and clearly. Everything took longer than expected. Again, everything took longer than expected. One final time, with natural stress. Everything took longer than expected. You are not only training pronunciation, you are making that phrase easier to access when a real situation becomes stressful. Now let's transform my story into your story. Think about a recent day that did not go according to plan. Begin with, to be honest, I thought it would be easy. Add one simple detail about your plan. You could say, I only had 2 emails to write, or I just needed to buy a few things. Then explain the problem with, the thing is, everything took longer than expected. Make it personal. What happened? Was the traffic terrible? Did someone call you? Did your computer stop working? Finish with, actually, it turned out fine, or change the ending if that is more honest. Tell your version now, in 3 or 4 sentences. Do not build it in your first language. Use the English structure already in your mouth. If you need a moment, begin naturally with, let me think for a second. Good. Your story does not need to be impressive. A normal day gives you exactly the kind of English you need in normal conversations. And now we are going to remove the prepared story. I will give you situations, and you will respond in real time with the chunks you have just practiced. This is where familiar chunks become fast reactions. Do not wait for a perfect sentence. Speak before translation has time to begin. A small, imperfect answer is better than polished silence. I'll ask a question, count to 3, and you'll respond with a reaction phrase, a short answer, and one reason. Ready? Do you prefer working alone or with other people? 1, 2, 3. Start speaking now. You might say, I'd say I prefer working alone because I can focus better, although I enjoy sharing ideas with a team. But what is your real opinion? Perhaps you enjoy the energy of a group. Did you begin in English and give one clear reason? If you froze, don't be discouraged. That is useful information because we are training the exact moment when silence usually takes over. Next question. Would you rather live in a busy city or a quiet town? 1, 2, 3. If you like both, Begin with it depends. You could say, it depends. Right now, I'd choose a busy city for the opportunities, but later I might prefer somewhere quieter. Did you notice how that phrase helped? It depends gave your mind time, yet the conversation remained alive because you were already speaking. Try again with your own answer. Let English come first, and explain your choice without searching for perfect words. Good. Now think about your routine. What is the first thing you usually do after waking up? 1, 2, 3. Give the short answer first. Actually, I check my phone. Then expand it. Actually, I check my phone first, although I'm trying to stop because it makes my morning feel rushed. What about you? Answer again and include one honest detail from your morning. That probably felt more natural, didn't it? You didn't need a complicated idea, only a clear starting point and enough courage to continue. Now I'll make the drill slightly less comfortable. I'll give you an opinion, and you'll disagree gently. Working from home is always better than working in an office. 1, 2, 3. You could begin, I see what you mean, but I'm not sure it works for everyone. Then add, some people focus better at home, while others need the structure and social contact of an office. Your turn. React, state your view, and add one reason. If your grammar becomes untidy, keep going. Real conversations don't stop while you edit every verb. One final challenge. People should answer work messages immediately, even in the evening. 1, 2, 3. Begin with, that's a good question, or I see what you mean. Then continue naturally. Here is one possible response. I see what you mean, but I'd say people need clear boundaries. If everything feels urgent, it becomes difficult to rest. Now give your own answer and finish with, what about you? Excellent. That final question turns an answer into a genuine exchange. You're no longer translating every sentence. You're reacting, developing your thought, and keeping the conversation moving. In the next round, we'll make those reactions even more flexible. Let's make your responses more flexible by changing the situation quickly. Remember, your first job is not to sound perfect. Your first job is to break the silence. Imagine a friend asks, should I exercise before work or after work? Answer now. 1, 2, 3. Start short, it depends. Now expand it, it depends on your energy. I'd say morning exercise is useful if you want a consistent routine. Try again with your own advice. Begin immediately, give one reason, and then ask, what about you? Quick self-check. Did you start in English? Did you use a reaction phrase? Did you add one clear reason? If you did 2 out of 3, that is real progress. Here comes another advice question. I feel nervous when I speak English. What should I do? 1, 2, 3. You might say, I'd say you should practice with short answers first. That makes speaking feel less overwhelming. Or perhaps, that's a good question. I'd say you should speak before you feel completely ready. Now give your answer without editing it in your head. Good. Let's react to some news. A colleague says, our team meeting has been moved to 7 tomorrow morning. Respond now. A natural reaction could be, actually, that's quite early for me, but I can make it. Short, clear, and honest. Now expand it. Actually, that's quite early for me, but I can make it. Could we keep the meeting brief? Self-check again. Did your voice begin quickly? Or did you wait for a complete sentence? If you waited, use a simple bridge like actually while your next thought forms. New situation. Your friend says, I'm leaving my job and taking 3 months off. React in English now. You could say, wow, that's a big decision. I'd say a break could be really valuable. What about you? Are you excited or nervous? Notice how the reaction came first. You did not need to understand every detail before speaking. You responded to the meaning, then built the answer. Now for the strongest challenge. I'll ask 5 questions. Answer all 5 without stopping. Give a short answer first, then one reason. Imperfect grammar is allowed. Silence is what we are retraining. What is one habit you would like to change? 1, 2, 3. Do you prefer making plans or being spontaneous? 1, 2, 3. Should people spend less time on their phones? 1, 2, 3. What advice would you give to someone starting a new job? 1, 2, 3. Your friend has just canceled dinner at the last minute. How do you react? 1, 2, 3. Keep going until your final thought is complete. Use it depends. I'd say, actually, or I see what you mean whenever you need a natural starting point. How did that feel? Perhaps one answer flowed easily while another felt slow and uncomfortable. That difference shows you exactly where translation is still trying to take control. Choose the hardest question and answer it. Once more, this time, begin within 1 second and finish by asking, what about you? That was stronger. Fast English does not begin with fast grammar. It begins with a quick willingness to respond. Now we'll slow down slightly and place these same response skills inside mini role plays, where each answer becomes part of a real conversation. In these role plays, forget the perfect sentence. Your goal is to react, express a feeling, and keep the conversation moving. I'll describe a situation and speak first. Answer aloud before you hear my examples. You're meeting a friend after a tiring week. You feel exhausted, but you still want to sound interested. Hey, it's good to see you. How has your week been? Answer now. If you need help starting, use to be honest. You could say, to be honest, it's been a long week, but I'm glad we could meet. How about you? Or add one personal detail. To be honest, work has been overwhelming, so I've been looking forward to this. Does that happen to you too? Did you notice those final questions? They return the conversation to your friend, so you don't have to carry the whole exchange alone. Shadow me with a relaxed rhythm. To be honest, work has been overwhelming, so I've been looking forward to this. Once more, smoothly. To be honest, work has been overwhelming, so I've been looking forward to this. Good. Now your friend asks about the weekend. Sound honest and relaxed. So, what are you doing this weekend? Give me a quick answer with one small detail. I'm not really sure, but I might stay home and catch up on some sleep. What about you? Another natural option is, it depends. If the weather is nice, I'd say I'll go for a long walk. Otherwise, I'll have a quiet weekend at home. Can you feel the difference? I'm not really sure, but gives you thinking time without making you sound lost. It depends lets you introduce different possibilities. Repeat after me. I'm not really sure, but I might stay home. Now try this. It depends. If the weather is nice, I'll go for a long walk. Keep might stay and go for a connected. Let each thought flow instead of separating every word. Now something unexpected happens. A colleague invites you to dinner tonight, but you're already tired. How can you respond warmly without pretending you want to go? A few of us are going out for dinner tonight. Would you like to come? Respond aloud. You can accept, decline, or ask for time to decide. You might say, that sounds nice, but I'm pretty tired tonight. Maybe next time? Or, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'd love to join you, but the thing is, I have an early morning tomorrow. That makes sense, doesn't it? You acknowledge the kind invitation before explaining your reason. It sounds human, not like a formal refusal translated in your head. Try it with me. I'd love to join you. But the thing is, I have an early morning tomorrow. Now make it warmer. Are you planning to do this again next week? Excellent. That follow-up question shows genuine interest and reminds you that conversation is shared, not performed. Let's combine everything. Use a reaction phrase, give one reason, and finish with a question. We're getting coffee after work. Do you want to come with us? Answer now, before translation steps in. Actually, I'd love to, but I need to finish something tonight. Are you going again tomorrow? That was a complete response. Quick reaction, clear reason, warm question. Keep that simple pattern in mind because next the situations will become less predictable. Let's make this less predictable. We'll disagree politely about a movie. Be honest, but don't dismiss my opinion. I thought that movie was absolutely brilliant. Didn't you? Answer out loud. Keep the conversation warm, even if you disagree. I see what you mean, especially about the acting. To be honest, though, I found the story a little slow. What did you enjoy most? Excellent. You acknowledged my view, shared your reaction, and invited me back into the conversation. Repeat after me. I see what you mean, but I had a different reaction. Again, more smoothly. I see what you mean, but I had a different reaction. Connect, but I had naturally. If you separate every word, a friendly disagreement may sound too firm. Now tell me, is working from home better than working in an office? Speak now. If you need a quick opening, say, it depends. It depends. I'd say working from home is more comfortable, but an office can make communication easier. What about you? That works. For a fuller answer, try, that's a good question. I'd say it depends on the person and the kind of work they do. Then return the conversation to me. How do you feel about that? Questions reduce pressure because you don't have to carry the whole conversation alone. Repeat these natural endings. What about you? How do you feel about that? Does that happen to you too? Imagine you tell a friend that you lose focus while studying at home. I reply, that makes sense. I get distracted at home too. Add one personal detail and one question. Go ahead. Actually, I work better in a quiet cafe. Does that happen to you too? Nice. You sound relaxed because you're sharing an experience, not trying to prove anything. You'll lead the final role play. We're friends after a busy week, and I suggest a weekend trip. Use at least 3 phrases from today. Let me think for a second. To be honest, the thing is, I'd say, or what about you? You look exhausted. Why don't we get out of town this weekend? Your turn. React. Explain how you feel. Respond to my idea and ask me a question. Speak for 4 or 5 sentences. Don't restart after a small mistake. Need a model? That's a good question. Let me think for a second. To be honest, I'm tired, but a short trip could be fun. The thing is, I need to work on Saturday morning. What about Sunday? Or keep it lighter. Actually, that could be exactly what I need. I'd say Sunday would work better, though. How do you feel about a day trip? Did you feel that tension before answering? Sometimes you already have enough English. The real obstacle is fear, choosing the wrong phrase, sounding awkward, or speaking before the sentence feels perfect. That fear quietly brings translation back. So respond with what you have, keep the exchange moving, and let your next sentence grow from the conversation. That is how faster, more natural English begins. You're not building a perfect sentence in isolation. You're connecting with another person, one clear response at a time. And when fear enters the conversation, your mind often reaches for control. This is especially common at an advanced level. You know several ways to express one idea, so you start searching for the safest word, the most accurate grammar, and the smartest possible sentence. It feels responsible, doesn't it? You think, if I can just prepare the whole sentence, I won't make a mistake. But while you are preparing it, the conversation keeps moving. Someone asks a second question, the moment passes, and the English you finally produce arrives too late. Imagine that a colleague asks, "Can you finish this today?" Your honest thought is simple, "I need more time." Yet your mind rejects that sentence. It says, "That sounds too basic. I need something more advanced." So you search for a polished answer. Perhaps you try to build, "Given the current circumstances, I would appreciate an extension of the original deadline." That sentence is correct, but in a quick conversation, it may sound distant or overly formal. Meanwhile, "I need a little more time" is clear, natural, and useful. Here is an important difference. Polished English tries to impress. Useful English helps two people understand each other. Of course, polished language has its place. You may need it in a formal email, a presentation, or a careful negotiation. But ordinary conversation does not require a perfect performance. It requires a clear idea, a human tone, and enough courage to respond. Ask yourself this: when you translate, are you really looking for English? Or are you looking for certainty? That question can feel uncomfortable. To be honest, many learners are not afraid of having no words. They are afraid of choosing the wrong words. If that sounds like you, take a breath. You do not need to remove uncertainty before you speak. You need language that helps you speak through uncertainty. Native and fluent speakers do this all the time. They begin, adjust, clarify, and continue. For example, you can say, "I'm not really sure, but I think we should wait." You are not pretending to have a perfect answer. You are giving yourself room to think while keeping the connection alive. Say it with me. "I'm not really sure, but..." Again, a little more smoothly. "I'm not really sure, but..." Now complete it with your own idea. "I'm not really sure, but I'd say..." Good. Notice that you did not need to build the entire answer first. The phrase gave you a natural entrance. And what if your sentence comes out badly? You can repair it without returning to your first language. Try this. Let me say that another way. Once more. Let me say that another way. This phrase is powerful because it changes the meaning of a mistake. You are not failing. You are simply editing your message out loud. You can also say, "What I mean is." Repeat, "What I mean is." Then give the clearer version. "What I mean is, I can help tomorrow, not today." That is fluent behavior. You keep the meaning moving even when the first sentence is not quite right. Another useful repair phrase is, "The thing is." Repeat after me. The thing is. Say it again, as if you are about to explain something important. The thing is. Now add your message. The thing is, I need a little more time. Simple, clear, and completely natural. You do not need to say, "Additional time would enable me to consider the matter more thoroughly." That sentence is correct. But is it useful in a quick conversation? Probably not. Polished English has its place. Useful English keeps the conversation going. Let's practice choosing useful English when your thoughts feel messy. I will give you an unclear thought. You reshape it into one or two clear sentences. Here is the first thought. Maybe the plan is good, but also expensive. And I don't know because we need it, maybe. Take a moment. Do not translate. Find the main point and say it clearly. You could say, "I'm not really sure, but the plan may be too expensive." Or, "The plan is useful. The thing is, it costs too much." Did you notice what happened? We did not rescue every word. We rescued the meaning. Try another one. Yesterday I wanted to call, but then work, and it became late, so no. What is the simple message? You might say, "I wanted to call yesterday, but I finished work too late." If that still feels difficult, begin with a repair phrase. Let me say that another way. I was too busy to call yesterday. Now you try. Say that full response aloud. Good. Your second version does not have to sound smarter. It only has to sound clearer. One more challenge. Imagine someone asks, "Do you think working from home is better?" Your mind has 5 ideas at once. You like the freedom, but you miss people, and your answer depends on the job. Start with a phrase that gives you space. That's a good question. I'd say it depends. Continue with one clear point. Working from home is convenient, but it can feel lonely. Then invite the other person in. What about you? Say the whole response with me. That's a good question. I'd say it depends. Working from home is convenient, but it can feel lonely. What about you? Again, with a steady rhythm. That's a good question. I'd say it depends. Working from home is convenient, but it can feel lonely. What about you? That answer works because it moves. It does not wait for perfect grammar, the safest word, or the most impressive opinion. And if someone responds, "I prefer being around my colleagues," you can say, "I see what you mean. That makes sense." These small reactions reduce pressure because you are participating while your next idea forms. So when fear tells you, "Do not speak until everything is correct," answer it with a different rule. Start clearly, repair naturally, and keep going. Fluency is not the absence of mistakes. Fluency is the ability to keep meaning moving. Now that the fear has less control, we can bring your reactions, repair phrases, connected speech, and longer answers into one complete practice sequence. Let's bring everything together in a practice flow you can use in a real conversation. You will listen, react, answer, add a reason, and ask a follow-up question. Then you will shadow my response. Remember, the goal is not perfect English. It is to keep the conversation moving without translating in your head. Imagine a close friend has worked at the same company for 8 years. The salary is good and the job is secure. But your friend feels exhausted and unfulfilled. A new career sounds exciting, although it could mean less money and less security at first. Your friend asks, "Do you think I should leave my job and try something completely different?" How would you react? Don't search for the perfect advice yet. Begin with a natural phrase such as, "That's a good question," or "I see what you mean." Your turn. Your friend is waiting for your reaction. Say one phrase aloud. Good. That short response gives you time and shows empathy. Instead of becoming silent while you translate, you are already participating. Now give a brief answer. Would you encourage your friend, advise caution, or ask for more information? Complete this sentence in your own way. I'd say it depends on. You might say, "I'd say it depends on what matters most to you." Now add one reason connected to money, happiness, family responsibilities, stress, or future opportunities. Try it aloud. I'd say it depends on what matters most to you. Because keep going. One clear reason is enough. You could say, "I'd say it depends on what matters most to you because a stable income may be important right now." That makes sense. But let's keep the exchange alive. Ask a follow-up question instead of ending with your opinion. You could ask, "Have you thought about exploring the new field before leaving your current job?" Or, "What is making you want to leave now?" Ask your own question aloud. Let genuine curiosity guide you. You do not need to sound impressive. Now listen to my complete response. I see what you mean. That's a good question. It depends on what matters most to you. To be honest, I'd think carefully before deciding. Could you explore the new field while keeping your current job for a little longer? Did you notice the flow? I reacted, answered, explained my position, and ended with a question. That simple structure helps you think directly in English. Let's shadow it in short chunks. Stay close to my rhythm and allow the words to connect naturally. I see what you mean. Your turn. I see what you mean. That's a good question. Say it smoothly. That's a good question. It depends on what matters most to you. Let depends on connect gently. Again, it depends on what matters most to you. To be honest, I'd think carefully before deciding. Hear how I'd think moves as one unit. Shadow me. To be honest, I'd think carefully before deciding. Could you explore the new field while keeping your current job for a little longer? Follow the overall pace, not each separate word. Now say the whole question naturally. Finally, join the opening ideas. I see what you mean. That's a good question. It depends on what matters most to you. Say them once more, but imagine your friend is sitting across from you and truly needs your support. Keep that warm, thoughtful tone as we move into the next conversation. Now make the response yours. Keep the same shape, but use your own words. React, give brief advice, explain why, and ask one helpful question. What would you say first to your friend? You might begin with, I see what you mean, or that's a good question. Say your reaction now. Good. Next, what advice would you give? Would you encourage your friend to change careers, or would you ask for more information first? Start simply, I'd say. Then complete the thought in your own way. Now add a reason. You could say, the thing is, a career change can take time, or, to be honest, staying in an unhappy job can be exhausting. Your answer does not need to sound perfect. It needs to sound honest and clear. Finish with a follow-up question. Try. What interests you about the new career? Or, could you test it before making a final decision? Put everything together now. Speak to your imaginary friend with warmth, not speed. Let your ideas lead the words. That was a complete real-life response. You listened, reacted, answered, expanded, and kept the conversation moving. Let's finish our training with one quick mixed round. Do not translate. Give the first natural response that comes to you. Your manager asks, "Can you finish this by tomorrow?" Respond now. A friend says, "I think working from home is always better." Show that you understand. Then share your opinion. Someone invites you to dinner tonight, but you are tired. Answer naturally and give a short reason. A coworker says, "You seem stressed today." How would you respond honestly? Your friend asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" Give a short answer. Then add one detail. Someone asks, Would you ever move to another country? Begin with, "It depends," and explain what it depends on. One final prompt. What matters most to you when you make a big personal decision? Begin with, "That's a good question. Let me think for a second." Then answer in 2 or 3 sentences. Notice what you just did. You handled work, opinions, invitations, stress, plans, and personal choices without building every sentence in your first language. Perhaps some answers came slowly. That is completely normal. Faster English grows from many small reactions, not from forcing one perfect response. From today, make this a simple daily habit. Choose one ordinary situation and respond aloud for just a few minutes. When your phone rings, think, "I'll get it." When plans change, say, "That makes sense." When you need time, use, "Let me think for a second." These short reactions teach your mind to connect English directly with meaning, emotion, and action. Then expand one reaction into a longer answer. Add a reason, an example, or a question such as, "What about you?" You do not have to remove translation all at once. Each direct English response makes the old habit a little weaker and the new habit a little stronger. So take a breath and recognize your progress. You are not waiting for perfect English anymore. You are learning to trust the English already inside you. Keep your practice short, natural, and consistent. Day by day, your responses will feel lighter, your voice will feel more confident, and English will begin to arrive on time.